Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening once again. This is Dana Scranton, and welcome to Entrepreneurs Without Limits, where today I'm going to do an addendum. As you can see here, addendum to the language of thought. Okay, episode 4 addendum. This addendum comes about because I had a question or two regarding some specific concepts that were discussed, presented in episode 4. And so, what those are, if you've read the book, Outwitting the Devil. Yeah, let's get you in the camera. Okay. If you've read that book, in the interview with the devil, at one point he lists 12 items, 12 human desires that, or characteristics or behaviors that he uses to ensnare people to become drifters. Those also are the very concepts and ideas that allow the humans, the non-drifters, to add additional power to their journey through life. But it really comes down to understanding them. So I want to do this addendum real quickly and just go into a little more detail about what I was talking about in the prior episode. It won't take long, but I think it's important to understand this because it almost sounds like a contradiction if it's not explained properly. And I could have done a better job explaining it, so I'm going to do that. So let me pull this up here and we'll get right into it. Okay, so this is an addendum, as I said, to the language of thought and specifically to control of your desires. Okay, now the list that I provided was a list of desires that have the potential to help you to increase your focus. Excuse me while I kill that. To increase your focus and to help you focus more fully on your desire. You know, that definite purpose and all the desires that come with that. Okay. The key is that list can be interpreted either way. It can be interpreted as the negative energy, if you fall into those particular desires, that you'll be pulled into drifting. Or on the other hand, if you focus and you put your intentions in front of that desire to understand what that desire means to you in terms of creating a more purposeful life, focusing on that definite purpose and how these desires contribute to that. Because here's the facts. Humans have desires. We are not going to make that go away. You have to you have to manage those desires. You have to focus them in a manner that is beneficial to you and the people that you want to serve. So that's what I want to cover today. Now, the devil states to Mr. Earthbound in the book Outwitting the Devil that these traits, these desires, are what he uses to ensnare the people. But he also later states that he doesn't have any control over them once they have become non-drifters. So these desires become power as opposed to detriments. So they possess power and properly understood and applied can move you forward. So let's just go over this. Now I added one. There's 10 of them now instead of 9. And I just want to go over these very quickly. This sex expression and love, physical food, spiritual, mental, and physical self-expression, perpetuation of life after death, power over others, material wealth, knowledge, imitate others, excel over others, and the desire for self-expression through words and deeds. And that's what I added, and it's right here. Okay. And I added that because as I read the list that the devil prescribed for his devilish tactics, it occurred to me that that one is very important. So I wanted to add that as an addendum. Now, let me get back into the core message here. Each of these desires can become an overwhelming obsession that detracts you from your focus, detracts you from your definite purpose and the definiteness of the purpose that you must apply in order to achieve it, or they can become part of that journey to achieving your definite purpose. You, you have to focus. Now, let's take that first one, sex expression and love. This is a relationship issue. Properly applied to create healthy relationships, your partner, who is your mastermind, you and the partner are the first mastermind of your life. Positively applied, that helps you to move forward. Physical food. Food is eaten for energy, not for satisfaction. That's a very critical concept. If you eat too much, you're not going to feel well. If you eat the wrong things, you're not going to feel well. And it's going to detract you from being able to stay focused and have the energy to pursue your definite purpose. Spiritual, mental, and physical self-expression. You need to be able to tell how you feel and why, and to focus on those spiritual practices that will help you move forward in life. And there are many across this planet. You have to be proud of what you know, what you believe, and apply those to your journey. Belief and faith are the core. Apply them positively to help you move forward towards your definite purpose, and all is well. Self-expression through words and deeds. There are many people who pontificate endlessly on things of little value. It makes them feel good, but it doesn't ultimately add value to the lives of others. And therein lies the key. A definite purpose focused on achieving contribution, success, whatever it is that forms your definite purpose, generally speaking, is attained only through helping other people. The more people you help, the faster you will move towards achieving your definite purpose. Expressing yourself in words and deeds with the intention and the focus of creating value for others, that's positive. Pontificating to just make yourself feel good or to make others feel bad, well, you can conclude where that's going to take you. Perpetuation of life after death. This is one of those kind of sensitive topics to get into, but there are people who contend with plenty of reason for it that life does continue after death. It's a given. It is not you can't have it unless you do all the right things. But there's something more important behind this perpetuation of life behind death. There is a concept that had been written extensively by a gentleman named Robert Monroe, who was the founder of the Monroe Institute. And he was noted for his many, many out-of-body experiences that were actually, after a while, intentional, as he sought to understand the other side, if you will. And one of the conclusions that he was led to by his guides and by the infinite intelligence with whom he interacted, according to his documents and his writings and his expressions of everything that he dealt with in that manner, were that there is absolutely life after death. But what's really important is your soul comes back to that afterlife, continued life, with added value. So that perpetuation of life after death is really the next phase of your journey. That's according to Robert Monroe and many others. You can read a lot about it from a lot of different people. So your objective is to add value to the lives of others, because in doing that, you add value to the life of your soul. You add experiences, you add energy, you add capabilities. Okay. Power over others. We already covered that in the last episode, but I just want to reiterate, power over others can be either negative or positive. If you lord power over somebody because you want them to do what you want, and you want to have the ego satisfaction of having power over others, that's a negative energy. If, on the other hand, you have power over others from the sense that you do not let them influence you if they are a negative influence. You only allow the positive influencers into your life and into your mind. You only allow people to buy real estate in your mind, rent real estate in your mind, when it's going to contribute to your definite purpose. Okay, the same is true of excel over others. It's at the bottom of the list there. It's not about beating others. It's not about competition. It's about cooperation. It's about constructive relationships, constructive value. When you excel over others, what that means is you excel over the influence of others that would hold you back by gaining more experience, more technical abilities, more mental control, more skills, whatever it takes for you to achieve your definite purpose, that becomes your focus. You just realize that the reason you have to have that is you may have to clear a hurdle of people that are in your way or entities that are in your way. Okay, we'll bounce back up. Material wealth. Material wealth is not bad. Don't get into this thinking about people that want to tax the rich to exclude them from the club of the ordinary person. The rich, there are going to be people whose egos are tied to how much money they have, but that's not you. You want to get as rich as you can because money is the means by which you can deliver more value to the world. There are many people out there who donate millions and billions of dollars to help humanity. Be one of those. Harness it, focus it, make it happen. If you let it take over your life on the ego side, well, chances are you can read all you want about the lives of people that have collapsed because they made a lot of money, but they had the wrong intentions. Okay, knowledge. The old saying, knowledge is power. Well, there's something to that. But that power could take you in a positive direction or a negative direction. The knowledge has to be purposeful, intentional, and applied in a manner consistent with and congruent with your definite purpose. That word keeps coming up, definite. You have to be definite about the purpose because when you know what that purpose is, the why, the what, the wherefore, then all of these variables, all of these desires can be mastered to assist you in that journey. Imitate others. Humans are imitators. We like to imitate what we like, what we respect, what we see, what we want to be like. Well, that's okay. Imitate with intention. If you see somebody who's successful because they do a certain thing, because they believe a certain thing, you don't want to automatically adopt that practice. What you want to do is understand it, analyze it, think about it, apply in a test mode. Go into your mind and run the thought experiment. If I were to adopt that particular practice that person does, if I were to be like that person, what would it do to achieve my ultimate purpose? That's a desire that can be harnessed to imitate others. Imitate what works, what applies more energy, more momentum to your definite purpose. So that's what I wanted to go over. Just wanted to make that clear in this addendum, and I hope it's beneficial and helps in the overall understanding of outwitting the devil. Because ultimately, what outwitting the devil is teaching us is be aware of all of the things that surround you, the energy around you that has the ability to either help you or hurt you. And drifting, which is the devil's probably his number one tactic, his number one weapon, is it's something a lot of people deal with. Drifting. When you start knowing what it is, the lights come on. Well, that was today's addendum to episode 4. So with that said, let me just stop the share there. So I hope you found value in today's addendum. Uh, I don't think I've ever done an addendum to an episode before, but because of a couple of questions I had, like I said at the beginning, I felt compelled to explain those. And I would encourage you, if at all possible, to go get this book, The Outwitting the Devil, and read it. Get the Audible version as well. And I will just tell you that the Audible version cuts out quite a bit of the book. We're talking probably several pages that are cut out because they're either redundant or they contain information that is better read than put out in an audio form. So that's it. Have a great day, great week. Thank you for dropping by Entrepreneurs Without Limits, and we'll see you out there on that great, big, wonderful frontier of opportunity. Take care.